My people, Oga Dr. Pedro Osaro, he don't come back. Oh. He's back. This time, now apology plus other thing. Now you can't talk about it. If not today be the first day when you watch our video or they listen to our audio note, I beg don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell button. Whenever we're there on live, you can be able to watch us and contribute. And follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And like our page, PFM TV on Facebook and People Freedom Movement on Facebook. My people, make una listen to Oga Dr. Pedro. Thanks to People's Freedom Movement. This audio note, WhatsApp audio note, it they work well, oh, make una listen to Oga Dr. Pedro.
Good evening, my dear sisters and brothers of our movement. I just want to quickly start by apologizing for the lateness of this message that I needed to clarify a few things. I've been inundated with calls. Many people are making allegations, and hurtful as it is, I understand that maybe what I might have said, taken out of its originating context, might have annoyed, infuriated a lot of our brothers and sisters. The audio message or the audio voice note that is circulating is one major disservice to me as a person. But I guess once you are in the public domain like this, these are some of the things you have to deal with. First, I'm a Nigerian, I'm a Bendelite, I'm a Midwesterner, I'm an Edo man, and I'm a Bini man. It does not take away my ancestry, because it takes the village to raise a child. I can claim to be Ola, Oma, Edo North, to the same extent I can claim to be Urubo, because of my grandmother, uncle. I want to quickly beg that please, that audio message was circulated by a rogue element within the Bini Indigenous Peoples Assembly. The Bini Indigenous Peoples Assembly is a platform of just 33 persons consisting of leaders who are Benin, that is Edo South, in like a pressure group. And we were all making private postings as a discussion. So, and because it is not meant to be public, 70% of the time I spoke Benin. It is when I wanted to talk about the statistics that I spoke in English, because I was talking to a closed group and it is forbidden for it to have been put out. And I think that was a great disservice to myself. Now let me give a background so that we will understand this in context. So, but before I do that, I want to apologize to my Esan brothers. I speak Esan. I want to apologize to my Edo North brothers. I speak Ola as much as I speak Bini. My mother is the first daughter of the Ezomo of Imeola. I am Ola in every ramifications. Bini, the Englishman say, you see mother tongue, not father tongue. I still farm there as of tomorrow morning. What transpired was simple. I will reel back to late last year. The governor, who happens to also be my elder brother, was said to have wanted to restructure or do some stuff within the civil service set up in Edo State. And in the stuff that was being done, it was said that he was going to appoint some 13 permanent secretaries. Those are that will break it down easily. Of those 13, he released the names, and about 3 or so were said to be Benin. The others were, which is Edo South. The 7 local government areas are Edo South. Then, sometime 2 weeks ago, he released another list of 8. These ones were to be disengaged, sacked, retired compulsorily, And out of these 8, 5 were Edo South. Now, this created some form of disquiet amongst the Edo South people. So the Benin Indigenous Peoples Assembly, which is Edo South, had some petitions sent to it. And I had confronted the governor precisely on the 17th of January to make him know that these are the things that are going down. People in government, many of them his major appointees, had also come talk to me to let him know that there must be geopolitical considerations in this his arrangement. And in my audio contribution, I did not make one single allusion to the fact that he should remove anybody from either Edo North or Edo Central. For those of them who speak Benin on this platform, they will agree that I never did that. The Benin I was speaking was to tell the Benin people, 33 of them who were on that platform, including ex-governors, ex-senators and co, people who were former heads of universities, to please, Godwin likes data, and we should use the data to push the argument. I even wrote that, please, let us find strategic ways to engage government. I use the word, there must be a deliberate schematic to engage government. And I only mentioned Edo North and Edo Central when I was reeling out the election figures, that we should not, if we cannot make him see, please, can we use the election figures? That was the only time that Edo North and Edo Central were mentioned in my narrative to my people. I am Benin. In fact, when some of the leaders of Edo Central confronted me, so one of them, a friend of mine who is on this platform, actually labeled me a sectional parochial leader. And I called him and I asked, say, my brother, you are a member of the House of Rep. If you hear tomorrow that somebody who is your cousin is making appointments, and in the making of appointments, he removes 5 people from Edo Central, and 1 from Edo South and 1 from Edo North, what will you do? It is what I did. I had even informed the governor. In fact, I sent the governor the very audio note immediately after I made it on the platform. This is what I have told the Benin Indigenous Peoples Assembly, because the Benin Committee of Elders have complained, and many others, and that was the only way. It was not to malign our people from Isan. It was not to malign our people from Isako. It was not to malign our people from Makoko Edo. Neither was it meant to malign our people from Ora or any part of Edo State. I have stood in the gap for the governor in the run-up to his re-election. And I have also done that for other persons. I saw what S.A. King wrote on the platform, mentioning Patrick Ikpirima. Inasmuch as I might have said certain things in a private discussion for a request for proper balancing and equity and fair distribution, I was pained because I remember on my own, I went to Roboland, spoke to the people of Patrick, begged you guys to raise money for Patrick. And in our return, myself and Eugene said, we are attacked by kidnappers. But I had also, on this platform, a couple of years ago, when the headsmen attacked Ikaland, I had meetings with Oguika, the elder, the leader is on this platform, to address our people. But for whatever it is, each and every one of us are Bendelites. But before we are Bendelites, we are either first Isoko, Urobo, Ijo, Shekiri, Enuani, Ika, Bini, Isa, Isako, Akoko Edo, or whatever. I'm not asking for myself or persons I knew to be appointed. I was just asking him, sir, there are 6 permanent secretaries in the government house. Before Oshomole's time, these permanent secretaries were distributed according to ethnic, 2 Edo North, 2 Edo Central, 2 Edo South. In his own first tenure, it was reversed, 1 Edo South, 2 Edo Central, 3 Edo North. Last month, in his sacking, he removed the Edo South. And we were just begging, please, if you are removing 5 Edo South, replace them. And many of these persons, I had even made a present plea to him. Were they removed because they were criminal? Were they removed because they had faced an administrative panel? Were they removed? I even used our father as example. He served to be 60 years. Let these people serve their tenure. Even if they don't, then replace them for geopolitical balance. I want to appeal to all of us. For those who are taking it out of cosmic balance to create unnecessary or scotchy political points, it is unnecessary. And for those who were miffed and angered by that private discussion, which was not meant at all, in short, it shows that the Benin people are actually raised on his knees. It's just like some of us are Urobo, we are discussing within the Urobo Progress Union, and we are talking facts, for example, to ourselves. And somebody who is in our midst goes and places on Facebook. Others made other most stinging presentations. I only tried to paste my own statistics. I went from place to place campaigning for him to be elected. I did not come in any way to put down our Asian brothers. Not at all. For those who are close enough on this platform, maybe 1 or 2 will let people know that I have no such ethnic or sectional aspirations whatsoever, howsoever. I was just asking the governor. If anybody should feel maligned, I think it should be the governor. But I also felt that I stood on a high moral ground because nothing there I said that I had not said to him in terms of meeting, writing, or voice notes. I don't want to embarrass anybody. If not, I will play some of them here. Please, I beg all of us, you know, I'm not apologetic for the thematic thrust of what I said to the Benin People's Assembly. I am only pleading for whatever misconception or out of context misinterpretation of what those things might have caused to our brothers across the various ethnic divides in Edo State. First and foremost, if you take only the English part, you may miss it. But please play that voice note again and get a Benin man who speaks Benin, or almost every Saman actually understands Benin. They will realize I did not malign anybody. I was saying that the government must create balance. If you are appointing 6 and you say 222, it makes sense. If you are appointing 10 and you are saying, okay, those have been that you assist something, okay, take 3 or 4. Edo not 3. Edo Central 3. If these geopolitical considerations were not important, I don't think the 9 House of Assembly distribution in Edo State would have been done the way it is. There are 9 House of Assembly, which is based on population, demography, and spread. 4 is Edo South, 3 is Edo North, and 2 is Edo Central. But in the appointments my brother has made of late, it has been as if it is reverse osmosis. He has not favored any of the other ethnic nationalities. No, that is not the point. Rather, he seems to be disfavoring his own ethnic group. And because of the history of the Obaseki family, within the last 140 or 130 years of Benin history, I just wanted to be the one that will lay it on my brother some of those hard facts, so that made them not go to talk, say these Obaseki people don't come again. That was just it. It was just to save my family from whatever originating problem that might come up later. I even sent him a voice note and asked him, brother, if you do one like this, waiting people go talk when you don't come out of office. Say now when Obaseki Pikin come be governor, now they remove all the Benin people when they government. I wasn't saying remove Esa, remove Ora, remove. And that is the truth. I stood as a buffer for him to do the needful. I did not advocate for the cancellation or dismemberment, like people are banding over the place, because of the things he did a few days later. Those were done without consultation with me or something like that. I was not aware. I just did mine. The only time I mentioned education was a professor within the group, who is a former deputy vice chancellor, had posited that, why is it that in Edo State, Edo North has a university, Edo South has a university, but the tertiary institutions in Edo South have been closed by the governor? And I told him, the same paper in 2014 for establishing Edo University Yamo, that same paper was used in establishing Tayo Akpata University of Education in Edo South. And the governor, for the best reasons, I think he has his own reason, decided not a single block had been laid for the Tayo Akpata University. Those were the things I brought up. My family, my people, my ancestry, my belief in our corporate existence was what spurs me to make that no-holds-barred presentation to a Benin group as a way of engaging the governor, so that he will see the facts and not the fiction. Unfortunately now, those have been taken out of context. And it is that taken out of context I want to appeal to all of us. I apologize for that. But I want you to, when you are passing judgment, place yourself in the shoes of the man on trial. Benin say, Yahweh gave ayabohi enedo. If to say now you, waiting you go do. That is the best way to pass judgment. I was faced with a situation where people on a Benin platform were accusing my brother of ethnic decimation of his own race. And I was just advising that we use certain statistics. We won overwhelmingly in Eastern Land with 27,000 votes and lost stupendously in Edo North with more than 23,000 votes. So what I did was, in the presentation, was to say Edo North loss was cancelled out by Edo Central winning, which is a difference of 3,000. While he won Edo South with 81,000. Nobody has ever won Edo South with 50,000. Oredo, for example, gave Godwin 43,000 votes and Pastor Ezeyamu 18,000. No election result has ever crossed 36,000 for any one party. So for those people now not to have a permanent secretary, or their permanent secretaries have been sacked, that was a travesty. That was the reason. I beg all of us to keep our eyes on the ball. If I offended anybody, wittingly or unwittingly, I most unreservedly apologize. But I was just doing it I never knew that someone would be a rogue element to dishonorably put a private discussion of an ethnic pressure group, which was meant to galvanize support for that group, and place it in the public domain. Like I also said in that voice note, which many of them edited up. So the real voice note is actually 14 minutes. But I'm seeing the one being thrown around the place 11 minutes, some even 10 minutes, 53 seconds. Because people were editing things out of it so as to suit their political agenda. I am not political in this. My politicalness in this is just as a pressure on government. I thank you guys for listening to me. I couldn't have written this, to explain myself. I just wanted it to come from the power of my passion. And that is why I did a voice note, since the own problem actually also started with a voice note. God bless all of us.
Nigerians, we are tired. We are tired of what we are going through in the hand of our governors.
Brothers and sisters, please don't hesitate to subscribe to People's Freedom Movement YouTube channel, and follow us on Facebook at People's Freedom Movement page. Like our page, and don't forget to hit the notification bell button. Whenever we are on live video, you'll be able to be notified and watch us live and contribute and call in. God bless you. You all heard from Dr. Pedro. We can't wait to analyze this audio note. God bless everyone. Thank you. Today's date once again is Thursday, February 24, 2022. I repeat, Thursday, February 24, 2022.